So this is the demo of our project OnTrack. And as you can see here, this is a Google Calendar that has a list of assignments. For example, you have a CS linked list, a couple of web assignments, some psychology reflections, a biology lab, etc. All these different assignments are in the Google Calendar that anyone can access and personalize. Reason why is because we're going to use our application now and log into Google. We're going to first sign in. Once we fully verify, we can share the information of our calendar into the application. And so what happens is that once you sign in, all the information is imported into the application. You can see, for example, assigned weeks is 12. There's actually 5 that's been completed. There's 16 hours remaining. And the actual tasks themselves that are today are 3. This graph shows how much is done per day and the increase, obviously. And the visual on the right shows specifically how much hours per subject. You can also see there's a notification at the top, which just tells you, hey, you have 3 days left to finish the assignment. More reminders to help you out. Now let's go to the actual tasks themselves. If you go to weekly, for example, you can see that there's a lot of tasks that have been completed and a lot of tasks that have not been completed. You have the completion time that the user has to input, as you can see, for WebAssign 3.2, and the estimated completion time. This estimate is created by the neural network and machine learning program that we use. So after that, let's go to the upcoming tasks. So for these are all for next week, right? Note that it says it's due next week, and these all have specific completion times based on previous data. Let's look at WebAssign Unit 3.4, for example. It says it'll take 4 hours long, right? And that's next week's assignment. But watch what happens if we finish WebAssign 3.2 in just 2 hours, for example. Well, first of all, the assignment's completed. It's a nice little satisfaction. And if you go back to that, to the next week's assignments, you will see that it's actually 3 hours now because the machine reprocessed how much time it'll actually take to finish the web assignment. Instead of 4 hours, it said 3 hours. And the dashboard changes as well. You can see you have an increase in the amount of work done. The math section of the visual has grown larger. All the other values in the top of the bar have decreased because the assignments are being done. This is a great example of why our program uses a clear machine learning to help the individual stay more organized with all their tasks and assignments. We can eventually, with more and more weeks of data that the system would collect based on your inputs, eventually it'll become almost near perfect accuracy for each assignment, depending on what's given on a specific category. Thank you for watching our presentation.